Okay, well, thank you, Derwin, for having us on the Cannabis Investor Webcast. My name is John Mortlock. I'm the sales executive for Ecoloblue in the USA. I'd like to thank you for having us on and tell you a little bit more about who we are and what we do. So I have a few slides for you that we'll go through. Ecoloblue was founded in 2007 by two gentlemen, Wayne Ferreira and Henry Thielman. And Wayne Ferreira is originally from South Africa. He's a kind of a popular tennis star. He's silver medaled in the Olympics and comments and plays at Wimbledon. And he kind of noticed, all the plastic water bottles everywhere, and the mess it was making. And then our other co-founder, Henry James Thielman, is a world traveler, a businessman. He speaks many languages. And the two of them combined together, they kind of had a vision of there's a better way to do what we do with water. If you talk about our mission statement, if you look at this slide, we believe everyone on Earth deserves the opportunity to have a pure, affordable, and sustainable water solution. A lot of the technologies that we use nowadays are very polluting. The desalination leaves horrible fields of brine. All the pumping in the reservoirs it uses a lot of energy and creates a lot of waste. So they came up with this idea of taking the water that's already in the air and purifying it so that everybody has delicious drinking water, and we reduce our effect on the environment. If we look at the world nowadays, the population's growing, and we have a lot of weather effects from climate change. We have the El Nino, and the availability of water, potable drinking water, versus the populations and the areas they're in, it's getting a lot worse. And it's a lot of causes. It's not just the global warming, it's the population, it's the cutting down of the rainforests. We're literally changing the way our world works and where we get the water from. Projections are that in the next, in our lifetime, all the areas you see in red are going to be critical for drinking water. And if you look at the map, that's where we have a lot of heavy population as well. So every living thing in the world needs water, whether it's us, the animals, the plants, the crops that we eat. This is a problem that affects everybody. And so Henry and Wayne said, hey, what can we do about this? The other thing that's of a big concern is even with our present infrastructure, I know here in America, a lot of the pipes and the underground infrastructure is 50 or 100 years old. We're starting to get contamination from the old pipes. We didn't know better back then. And also in these reservoirs, you have the ability for biologicals like Giardia, Cryptosporidium, viruses that get people very sick. Can be transmitted through these systems. So even the water that we're used to as kids, for our farms, for our families, it's not perfect, and it could be a lot better. So what Wayne and Henry did is they went out and they found a better solution. There's so much water in the air at any given time that we can capture that water and that humidity in the local areas, and we can deliver it to the customer or the crop more effectively with a purer product. So Henry and Wayne really founded this company to bring water to everyone, not just to make money, but we care a lot about the communities, and we care a lot about bringing this product to people that need it. Derwin, I have a video just to show a little bit about what we're trying to do. Would you like to run the Flint video?
Yes, let me see if I can cue the video.
One of the things about Ecoloblue is that obviously we're a business and we need to make a profit to stay in business, but we care a lot about our community. So this video is going to reflect a little bit about what we're doing right now.
It makes purified water from the air, and today the one-of-a-kind machines started going into Flint homes.
A local church is overseeing the donations, and they say it is a game changer when it comes to helping some of the families affected by the water crisis.
ABC 12's Damon Maloney is live outside a home that just received a delivery. Damon?
Hi there, Terry. Shirley Frost is one of the first people in the city to have this Ecoloblue water generator set up right in her kitchen. And some refer to this machine as the Energizer Bunny for water. The Ecoloblue atmospheric water generator looks similar to a Culligan machine, but it functions much differently. Shirley Frost watched as a crew rolled in the $1,200 machine that takes moisture out of the air to create clean, drinkable water.
In this community, so many people are just dead set against ever drinking this water again. And so this is grabbing the water from the air, and it's not connected to any water pipes. So it's as pure as water as we can provide to the community.
William Korek is the president of Global Environmental Engineering. He's working with Ecoloblue, a California company, to make sure residents are squared away when the generators arrive. It's pretty simple. Controlled by a few button touches, humidity above 50% allows the machine to make a maximum of 8 gallons of water a day. Hot or cold water can be dispensed.
And the fact that it's so quiet, and it's just nice and easy and makes lots of water.
Shirley is the first wave of about 250 homes that will eventually have the generator. Ecoloblue visited Flint a few months ago and announced a donation amounting to about $350,000. For Shirley, it's about peace of mind.
Because I'm tired of bottled water and having to go get it, lug it home, take the bottles back and all that.
Were you intimidated by the machine?
No. No, not once they showed us how it worked and everything and how easy it was. And that's a good thing. It shows you what all's going on. You know, it shows you the hot water, the cold water, the temperature, you know, the time, what more could you want in a water fountain?
Prince of Peace Church is facilitating the donations. Residents have to fill out an application in order to be considered for the program that's providing the generators at no cost. Major maintenance, which happens about every 6 months, is being handled by the professionals. Shirley says the church, Ecoloblue, and others who made this possible are God-sent.
Praise the Lord and thank them for everything they did, and the company for making this machine.
And Shirley goes through a lot of water in her home. Her son lives with her. She has 3 grandchildren who visit often. And she also has 2 dogs that depend on that clean drinking water. She should have her first cup in a few hours. Live in Flint, Damon Maloney, ABC 12 News.
We care a lot about the community, and this is all about bringing water to people. So you ask me why us, why Ecoloblue? That's part of it, that we want to do things for other people, not just make money. But why atmospheric water generation? At any given time, there's about 12 quadrillion liters of water in the atmosphere. Our machines can bring this out as low as 6 cents a gallon. So the water is local, and it's a relatively inexpensive way to get it. These machines work best at humidities 30% and up. With optimal humidities of 70–80%, they can produce quite a bit of water. So we have the smaller machines, we have the larger machines. All our water is 99.9% pure, exceeds the EPA requirements. And what we basically do with our filters is we take that out to the landfill in a small filter, and we dispose of that correctly. And we eliminate all that plastic water bottle and all the carbon footprint of the gas driving back and forth to the supermarket. So it's a very elegant solution to generating the water locally. Now I'm going to tell you a little bit about what we do. The Flint video you just saw shows you the little home office machines. They're kind of like a water cooler, family of 4 to 5, a small office. These are good for, you know, homes, offices, workers. You can put some in the break rooms. We also make the big, larger industrial machines. So we can go from a little water-sized machine. We have an EB100, 300, 600, 1,000, 3,000, 5,000, 10,000. So we can scale up both in the size of the machine and the application where we build an installation. And we can work with larger residential projects or hotels, agricultural uses, industrial uses, wineries, breweries, things like this. And we even have solutions for disaster relief for cities, towns, and governmental agencies. And I'll tell you a little bit more about each of these real quick. The first thing about our machines is that we're always trying to be sustainable. So we do offer a solar option, a wind option on all of our machines. We do have business partners where we can get this equipment, or you are free to get your own sustainable energy solutions. But one of the nicest things about these machines is that you can put them off-grid. You don't have to have it plugged into your wall. We do offer a solar kit for the little home ones. And the larger machines, we have the solutions for all these things. So sustainability and local sourcing of the water is one of the big things that we're doing. The other thing is mobility to an extent. We worked with the National Guard a little bit. We designed a machine that goes on a trailer kind of like this, and it has a little spigot on the side, so a soldier can walk up and fill his canteen, or you can hook it up and fill a water buffalo. And they can take that out into the field, and they can do maneuvers or training, or ultimately we hope that this will, help all our armed forces. But these machines are very durable, so they're designed, especially the industrials, are designed to operate outdoors 24/7, and they're compact enough that they can be brought into certain remote locations where you can actually set up some infrastructure where otherwise you couldn't. As far as our product line, you've seen the little home office ones. These are meant for a small family, a small office. We offer some different options on these. You can get a soda front where you have the CO2 in and you can make your own carbonated water. And if you look at the bottom door, when that swings open, your 5 filters are there, and you can change that for an alkaline option as well. And we do offer a variable speed compressor in our maximum efficiency unit, mostly to do with that solar kit because it's gentler on battery storage. So these little units are very versatile. They can make up to 8 gallons a day. And we've also got the UV light bulbs in the tanks to keep the tanks and the water clean. And our reverse osmosis goes down to 0.0001 micron. And that's how we get rid of that Giardia, Cryptosporidium, and any biologicals from getting through there. These are hybrids. They make water from the air, but you can hook them up to a well water or a city water source and still get the pure water from the filtration. And these are very easy to maintain. They're every 6 months you change the filters and wipe down the the air filter, the collection area. Very easy for a family or an office to maintain. As you move up from these, our industrial units come in all sizes, and as you can see here, they kind of scale up. All our machines are in liters per day at optimal humidity. So, for instance, an Ecoloblue 100 can make up to 100 liters a day, or about 30 gallons. The machines are also, for agricultural uses, the industrials have a humidistat in them. So they won't operate as an HVAC unit, but they will be a dehumidifying unit. And you can set these to create water and put it back into an agricultural situation like a greenhouse, and they'll turn on and off within your desired range of humidity. That's something we've recently just added. And one of the nice things about Ecoloblue is we do have our own factory and our own engineers. So all of our equipment is manufactured in-house, and we're constantly striving to improve and improve the efficiency of these machines. We have the best compressor technology, and we're working on all sorts of new things. I'll get into that more later. Here's another picture of the industrials to give you an idea of the scale. On your left, you can see the littlest one, the EB100, and then they kind of go up from the front to 300, the 600, the 1,000, 3,000, 5,000, and in the back is your EB10,000. That's our largest unit. These are designed to run 24/7. They're very robust designed machines. They're all stainless steel. They have an expected 20-year lifespan, and we offer a 10-year warranty on these machines. So another thing about Ecoloblue is that we're not just trying to sell things. We're a company. We want you to be part of our family, and we stand behind these products and carry all the parts and service. We keep technicians on call for you. So these industrial machines can do a lot of different things. They can be used for agriculture, for factories, and industrial uses, and they can be chained together in different formats and configurations to solve different problems. Also, along with our community involvement and our concern about the worldwide water problems, we offer the ACE container, and this is it has an EB3000 machine in it with a generator and a bottling plant, a bottling machine that it fills the water in little bags. And this can be airlifted or trucked into any kind of a disaster situation. If you need water right away, if you have an earthquake, if you have a flood, you know, these kind of things, hurricanes, and you have a population that isn't being served immediately, we have a solution to that. This can be bought by a municipality or a government, and then can be immediately in 24 hours you can be up and giving water in an emergency situation. So we have a lot of solutions for the community for water, and before I get into what it means to you, I'll just let you know, here's an example. We can go from that little water cooler size machine all the way up to a 400,000 liter a day water station. And we can do this by either stacking them if you're in a urban area, or if you have a more coastline design, you can do a flat installation and use the solar as a roof, as you've seen here. And these water stations can be custom designed, scaled up and scaled down. So we have the ability to do anything from a water cooler to a water station. Now, I'd like to talk a little bit about how this affects you. As you can see here from some of the patents of some of the things we're working on, we're always improving these technologies and working on our certifications, the ROHS, where nothing contributes to toxins in the water, the certifications of the Global Compacts, the Japan Food Certs, the CE in Europe. The quality of our water is just as important to us as the people that drink it. So as far as, talking to the cannabis industry, recently Henry, the owner, reached out to us and said, hey, is this something we should get involved with? I'm in California. It's legal here with a medical permit. There's Washington has gone legal, Colorado. So let me talk a little bit about the agricultural side. Just like people, plants need the best nutrients to do well. And a lot of people in the cannabis industry are trying to put in larger installations as this gets legalized. And we have the same problems we have with people and animals, is that the footprint of the water usage and the waste disposal becomes ugly when you industrialize pretty much anything, whether it's tomato plants or cannabis. So on the agricultural side, what I've been hearing a lot from our customers is that they have polluted aquifers. They have limits on the water they can get from the municipalities. They have difficulties getting that water to where their ideal conditions are. So we kind of looked at this industry and said, well, hey, what can we do? And I have another video for you here.
Okay.
I'm going to show another quick video. This is a gentleman named Jeffrey Smith. Is one of my dealers. He's down in Southern California. But it's a great example of how he's integrated our machine into his further solutions for green and sustainable things.
Hello, I'm Jeffrey Smith, on a steering committee as part of the Strategic Recovery Institute's Community Fellowship, and we're filming today in our aquaponics tent. So as you can see, this tent has been erected, and we've got a station here that's an atmospheric water generator. It collects moisture from the air, condenses it on a coil, and with the press of a button, dispenses water into a cup that can of course be used for drinking purposes. It can also be used to water our plants and replenish the water that evaporates from our aquaponics system that has live tilapia fish growing in the bottom. Water circulates with the nutrients from the fish up to water the plants, and then through gravity returns down to the fish again. These plants, some of them are second generation, meaning that they've gone to seed. Their seeds have fallen down into the medium and they're growing again on their own. So this is January, and we're actually eating live plants. You can see blossoms, there's strawberries, there's things that we can eat right here in January. This is an example of sustainable living. It's a really exciting time to be on the planet. And as spiritual entrepreneurs, we're encouraging people to be a part of this exciting time to make these changes. It's health-based, it's wellness-based change that we're making. So let's now shift and focus on the spiritual aspects of this. So what we're doing with these demonstrations of sustainable living in practical ways for our physical bodies, our community fellowship is also making sustainable changes with regard of moving away from fear-based belief systems that are largely based in ego, left brain functioning, that's primarily focused on not collaboration. It's focused on competition and limited resources, and I don't have enough. So we're moving from that domain into spirit, which is about love. And primarily it's about oneness. It's about being able to share things. It's about collaboration, and it's about community. So that's what we're creating, is this community of people that want to have these physical things to make changes in a healthy way that's sustainable, moving away from fear in our belief systems toward love, and we want you to be a part of that. So come join us physically, attend our gatherings, attend our teachings, come celebrate life with us. Join us on the web if you're outside the area. We need prayer support, we need financial support, we need labor support. So those are the three things that you can help us out with. Tune in each week and see how we're doing. Thank you.
So that's one example of the things we can do for agriculture. Another is I've recently met a gentleman named John Bray up in Seattle who works with a company called Azoth, and they have an aeroponic system that's very clever. It's about 18 feet tall, and it grows vertical instead of, if you're for small space growers. And he has a misting system that keeps the roots well. And again, we took one of our little smallest EB30s, we connected it up to his grow system, and the little machine powers the whole system. So what we're trying to do for the cannabis industry is welcome you into the Ecoloblue family and let you know that we have solutions that are scalable and that meet your needs to provide the pure, potent, potable water that the plants want too, because if you put lead and arsenic and contaminants into your plant's water, that can affect the purity of your crop growth, whether you're growing food crops, whether you're doing prize flowers, or in our case the cannabis industry. Having a good grow is obviously, it leads to a good product. So we just wanted to say hello and definitely thank Derwin for having us on. We are a global company. So I'm in California and I handle the United States. Henry pretty much flies around the world a lot. And we do have projects and agents all over the world. So this is not just for the cannabis industry, but we want you to be part of this. We want to bring this solution to everybody. And it's not just about the quality of the products of the growers. It's also about the communities that they grow in and being green and sustainable and being kind neighbors. So that's about what I had for you. I'd be happy to turn it back to Derwin and take some questions. As you see on the last slide, if you need to get a hold of me, if you have any questions after this is over, feel free to contact me.
Right. The first question, John, is why hasn't this technology taken off, and what are the hurdles?
Well, dehumidification technology is not necessarily new, but the atmospheric water generation with the the quality filtration and the size and portability of these units is sort of new. So we've been in business since about 2007. There are competitors out there. I really don't care to speak about them because there's their business. But what I can tell you is we've been in manufacture for 9 years now, and one of the things about us is that we don't have to reinvent the wheel. So there's a lot of people looking at these technologies. There's a lot of people that got in early and fell out. There's some new players coming in saying I've got the best stuff, but they're not in production yet and they haven't perfected their product. I think the answer to that question is a lot of people just really don't know about it. As you saw from the video we saw, I don't spend a lot of money on TV commercials like Geico. I'd rather give a machine to a church or a school or help somebody with my marketing budget, I'd also like to invite everybody. We'll be in Greenfest in San Francisco in November, and we'll be back in Seattle in February. I'll tell you more later.
Well, we got a couple of questions. Could growers use your equipment who are not near a water supply? So,
yes, these machines can be set up off-grid with your solar options. Now, your water supply is from the air. So basically, they work at 35% humidity and up is going to give you your best yield. About 70 to 80% humidity is ideal, is optimal. So you don't need to be near city water, well water, but if you're in the middle of a desert, you might not get a lot of production. Meanwhile, growers aren't generally going to be in arid and semi-arid areas.
Okay. Next question.
And then if you have a greenhouse type situation, then you're able to control your humidity a little bit as well.
Next question. How comparable is your equipment for growers versus using local water supply?
Well, that's an interesting question on a couple of levels. Our equipment comes out pretty cheap compared to a couple of things. Bottled water, tends to be $1 a gallon or more. You got all the plastic bottles. Depending upon your power source, these machines will come in somewhere around 6 to 15 cents a gallon. And basically, water is becoming like electricity. It used to be you just had your electric bill. Now there's like 4 different tiers of how much power you're using. And they have the brownouts and they have the, the spare the air day and all that. Water, especially in America and drought regions like California, is becoming a prime resource just like that electricity. And they're starting to tier it. They're starting to put caps on what you can use and fines and penalties for overwatering lawns. So what's happening, particularly in the USA, and I'm sure all over the world, is that the resource is drying up. The aquifers are being drained and polluted. The weather is changing. The jet stream is changing. Places that were humid are getting more arid. And the dwindling supplies are costing more and more to deliver. So to give you a good example, I've had inquiries from the farmers in the Central Valley, where in California we grow a lot of almonds and fruit and vegetables and such. And they were talking about the big machines, and I'm like, well, this could be a solution for you. And we were talking about price and such, and they said to me, you don't understand. There's 300 of us, and we all have to spend, so many millions on a well every year to drill the well. If we put that all together and make this, then we all have the water. when you look at some of these solutions, it really starts to make sense when you do the math.
Next question. Do you have a patent on your technology, and does any other company have similar technology?
We do have certain patents on certain things. Obviously, nobody can patent dehumidification per se. We do have a lot of design patents on how some of the processes are done in our machines. Some of the sparkling water, the soda patents, and some of the features are our personal patents. We do have some other patents for stuff we're developing, like the coffee and the ice maker, and also some of the internal parts and stuff. We do have our own factory and engineers, so the designs. As far as competitors, there have been some old style competitors and some newer style competitors. Again, I can't speak to the quality of their product. What I hear from people is that the new people are expensive and not in production, and the old people are a bit fly-by-night and they can't get a hold of them to get parts. So a lot of times I do sell parts, filters mostly, that might be usable on some of the older competitors that have gone out of business. But that's about as much as I could tell you. There are some people out there, and I know that we compare very favorably on price and quality and service. I've got, as far as like the little EB30s, we've got over 10,000 of those out in the field. And the big machines I've got all over the world. There's, sites down in South America, sites in Africa, sites in the Middle East. We're working on, there's several areas of the world that need this technology, so it's kind of a global thing.
Next question. How are you increasing your awareness and exposure to the cannabis industry? Do you have a sales and marketing team?
Well, actually, yes, a little bit we do. As far as the cannabis industry, we kind of didn't know a lot about it, so we wanted to find out more. So Heather and myself actually flew up for the Imperious Expo in Seattle last month, I think. And we talked to a lot of people. Basically, what we did is we went and we talked to all the exhibitors, and we talked to people about what their needs were, and like one of the things that came out of that was the humidistat for greenhouse and grow room. The dehumidification aspects are very important to the growers, as well as the the good water source. Meanwhile, we do have our marketing assistant working on it. We're going to be back up in Seattle in February at the CannaCon. Also, we'll be at Greenfest in San Francisco November 11th, 12th, and 13th. So yes, actually, we very much are trying to reach out and educate ourselves about the industry, not necessarily just jump right in and try to sell our stuff. We're about solutions, not just a simple product sale.
The next question, and you probably can't answer this question, but I'll ask it anyway. Do you guys have any plans on going public or doing an IPO in the future?
I don't mind speaking to that. I'm not aware of any plans for an IPO. We are privately held. Henry and Wayne founded the company. They still are the controlling owners. I believe we do have some smaller investors and distributors that have, stepped up for their territories. Meanwhile, Henry and Wayne are always open to talk to anybody. So if there was any interest in investment in the company, they could always contact me, and then I can forward the the information and the principles and get them an answer. So yes, there's not an IPO planned at this point. I haven't heard it mentioned, but they're always interested in talking to people.
Next question. Any interest in local government for your technology? Like, I guess they're talking about when, as far as Flint is concerned, would a local government like that contract your services?
It's kind of a building thing with the governmental agencies, and it really has more to do with red tape than us, especially with the federal government. They have the GSA, the General Services Administration. There's a lot of bureaucratic red tape to get the contracts approved. On the local level, we are involved in our Chamber of Commerce, and we do a program at the local elementary school to teach kids about the water cycle, and we do get involved with the NGOs, like the Flint thing. We're working with the churches to help the poorest of the poor, that have no other way to get pure water. So we're very active in the community involved. Governmental is kind of a case-by-case basis, depending upon the size of the agency and what, the municipality and what their rules and guidelines are for purchasing. We'd love to hear from them, though.
Well, that concludes our Q&A. Any last comments regarding Ecoloblue?
Oh, well, I'd just like to thank you for having us on, Derwin. Again, if anybody has any questions, they can just reach us at ecoloblue.com. My name is John Mortlock, M-O-R-T-L-O-C-K. You can email me at mortlockj@ecoloblue.com, and our numbers are up here. And questions are great. If you have any questions, any suggestions, we'd love to hear from you. We're trying to not just do things like Flint, but we're trying to, bring this solution to the world and make it a better place.
So will you guys be attending any of the upcoming cannabis conferences?
We will be at CannaCon in February in Seattle. I believe it's the 16th, 17th, 18th. And we will be at the Green Fest in San Francisco, November 11th, 12th, 3rd. Also, I believe there's one coming up in Santa Rosa next year that we probably be at, but I don't know if that's confirmed yet. But also, we are reaching out to the industry, so anybody interested or wanting more information, they can always call us.
Thank you, John. We really appreciate your presentation.
Thank you, Darwin. Have a great day.
You too.